criminal defense attorney, former homicide detective, and a Fox News contributor. Ted, good to see you today.
Hi, Shannon.
And it seems like such a stretch. The more information we get, the more confusing this seems to be. And I know for a lot of people, psychologically, we want to understand why this happened so we can find some kind of reasoning in this and maybe prevent it from happening again. But so far, these answers about motive seem so elusive.
Shannon, they are very elusive. Law enforcement out there in Las Vegas, they are frustrated because what they're trying to do is to get into the minds of a madman. And so what they're having to do is to go back and establish a profile of what this guy was like as a child all the way up to his 64 years of being on this earth. And that's very difficult. So what they're doing is they're talking to people who knew his family. We do know that his father was a bank robber and considered a sociopath. And so they're looking at that from a hereditary standpoint. They are also talking to prostitutes, I understand, out there that he's been with. And they're talking to his brother. They've kept his brother for many hours now talking, trying to find out what was the motive.
And we're learning a little bit more about him, too, because of this lawsuit that he filed years ago against a different casino where he'd had a slip and fall accident. This 97-page deposition is very interesting to look into how he lived his life. It's very unusual for you and I. A lot of people say for folks who are not professional, but, you know, very in-depth gamblers, he lived at these hotels, lived at these casinos. He owned a bunch of hotels or owned a bunch of homes he didn't go to. But he lived a life where he would gamble all day, sleep all night. He would walk around in pajamas, sweats, flip-flops. I mean, this isn't normal behavior, but yet everybody says, I never saw anything that would have indicated this kind of violence.
Well, you know, it was very weird because when I heard that this guy was losing or playing gambling for $1 million a night, that's just weird. But he was alleged to have been doing this. He, as you said, he's sleeping during the day, gambling all night. He was just a person that seemed to be on the edge. They believe that he descended into some kind of mental impairment starting last year. So they're looking at from September to October when he purchased 30 of the firearms that he had. It is a very eerie thing. What is also interesting is this so-called lawsuit. He slips and falls. Now remember, this is a millionaire. He slips and falls, and he's suing for a slip and fall where he had minor injuries. It just doesn't make any sense.
All right. Well, now we understand there could be some movement by families, victims here. What is the legal liability potentially like for his estate, for the hotel, anyone else involved here?
Well, Shannon, you being a lawyer, you know this. When it comes to the victims, I think that they have an excellent cause of action against the estate. Now, it is my understanding that they also want to sue Mandalay Bay Hotel. Well, I think they're going to have an uphill battle there because, as Shannon, you know as a lawyer, it's what the hotel knew or should have known. And I don't think you can come clearly close to saying that the Mandalay Bay Hotel knew that this guy was going to do the things that he did there, or any reasonable person under the circumstances.
Yeah, a lot of questions about how he managed to transport all those things in. But maybe we'll get some answers on that front as we continue to look for motive. Ted Williams, always nice to have you. Thank you.
Yes.